auction? Yep, you bet. He's got a plan. Does he get cars, from rental car companies? Yep, he's got a plan for that too. So he's built this plan. And, if you talk to Rob Dell up in Pennsylvania, he's doing the same thing. So they've embraced that CarMax or Carvana philosophy of saying, hey, I'm going to go everywhere. I'm going to go everywhere to get cars that make the most sense for my dealership. And I'm not going to rule out those channels just because I think it's a bad channel.
Why would you rule out any channel? I've always hated the mentality. I mean, I didn't hate it from my perspective because it made me rich. That I worked with salespeople that immediately decided you weren't a buyer. Pray all day for work, and then when you pull up, oh yeah, he's not. Send the new guy out.
Yeah.
Every channel, everything's an opportunity.
Yeah.
We're a society obsessed with cars. If they find out you're a car guy, the only person that might get a little more attention at a party is a doctor that can get you Viagra because you're embarrassed to go. Everybody, what's my car worth? What are the new ones like? What do you think I could get? So there are so many ways to do this, and they expect us not to be friendly and personable. If we are, aren't we opening every door and changing their perception of who we are and what we are? And who doesn't like to think, hey, I got a guy on the inside?
Yeah. Well, let's run with that for a minute. So when you think about, that on the sales side and that, hey, you know what, people are ruling out that guy because he didn't look the right way or didn't think he had the money or, didn't, know his credit score was a 600, but you didn't know he had, half 50% down to put on that car. Like, people walk past those people all day long. And I would say the same thing of auctions, right? Like, auctions have long been around. They're going to continue to be around. They're going to continue to be a source of good inventory for dealers to go and purchase.
They just can't be the only. They just can't be the only.
You have to have the right strategy for auctions when you go. You can't go and say, hey, I'm just going to walk out of here with 20 cars, right? You need to be able to go and say, you know what? I'm going to get 15 cars that I really need from the consumer. And these 5 that I can't find anywhere else, I'm willing to go to the auction and maybe pay a little bit more because I know what I have in my back lot that's waiting to be built. So that's how I look at it. And I'll even say this. When you talk about wholesalers that are out there, think about the number of wholesalers that are out there that buy cars at an auction, take them to another auction and make money.
Oh yeah, they've been living off of that for years. Frank, I got a couple of questions, and I'm again, thank you for spending Friday afternoon with us. I'm thrilled to have you because you're right on the money, and we have been trying to be top of mind in the dealers in our market because we want to find the dealers that want some help and then help them. And when you talk about strategies of acquiring vehicles, I'm in the greater Hartford market in Connecticut. We've got a pretty strong auction, Southern Auto Auction in East Windsor.
Yeah.
And Wednesdays is showtime. And every dealer, every buyer, everybody's there. That's their religion. They're Wednesdays, the owner or whoever. And so obviously nothing's getting done at the dealership because the driver is gone buying cars at the auction. But they've been trying now. You see over COVID, they're trying to buy trades. They're trying. So tell me about these people. And remember, I'm in Connecticut. We don't have mega dealers. Our best dealers can sell 300 cars. And so we've got a lot of 100 car stores and 200 car stores. Where are they failing? Is it failing because they don't put a body on it, or it's only left on one person's shoulder to find it? So please talk to me and us, to my Connecticut dealers, of what's a good plan to start to acquire customers' vehicle. Where to start? I mean, we can say auto acquire, and that's wonderful, and sign up for you, but let's give them a little taste of what you see out there.
Yeah. So, a couple of things. there. And one, no, you need more than one body that's on this, because what do we know about the buy center, the buying ecosystem, right? You need, someone who's looking at the car. You need somebody who's really physically looking at the car. You need somebody who's valuing that car. You need somebody who's going to, cut the check for that car. You got to worry about how do you pick it up from the consumer. You got to worry about when it gets there, how do you inspect it? I mean, there's all these things that are very disjointed in that process that make it very complicated. And so when that happens, dealers ultimately just walk away from it because
Right.
it's not easy. So all these folks out there that are chiming in and talking about, service drive acquisitions or direct from consumer appraisals, or, understand it's a difficult thing to do. It's not easy as what people make it sound. If it were easy, people would have started doing this years ago when CarMax started doing this, right? It's not easy. There's a lot of training that's involved. There's a lot of coaching that's involved. So what do I see? So I wanted to touch on that.
Good.
First.
No, I appreciate that. And that makes a lot of sense.
But when you talk about what do I see and what are the people that are having success? What are they doing? Well, one, they're trying to put as many cars, as many values out there as they possibly can, right? They're trying to, and they're doing that, again, they're doing that through, AI. They're doing it through tools that they have. They're just trying to get the customer hooked, right? Like, how do you get the customer hooked to say, yes, I'm in and I like that offer, and now I'm going to go to the store. And so what you're looking for is that hand raiser that says, you know what? I like what you showed me, but you have to have the tool first to at least show them the offer. So all you're doing, right? So think about the sales process, right? The sales process starts with this massive funnel, right? Like, I want to get as many people in the top end of that funnel as I possibly can. And then as they start to raise their hand and say yes, and they do this indication that tells me, hey, now they displayed a buying signal, they start to go down into the funnel to now where that one person at the store can now deal with them on a one-on-one basis and get the car sold. Acquisitions are the same thing. Talk about Carvana and why they're having success. Well, they're throwing as many offers out there as they possibly can. And then it kind of shakes down to the funnel. And then finally it gets to a place where you have a hand raiser that says, yep, come to my house, pick this car up and do the inspection in my driveway. They're not sending people all over town to go look at cars. They've shaken everything down through the funnel. So the dealers that are having success, that's what they're doing. They're picking up the phone. They have that one or two people that are dedicated to the process. They're working Facebook Marketplace. They're working Craigslist. They're working Bring a Trailer. They're looking at all these avenues to say, hey, well, one thing I know about buying cars direct from consumer is that if you're just waiting for that person to come knocking on your door and say, hey, Gary, I want to sell my car to you, it's not gonna happen, right? Unless you have the marketing behind you saying we buy every car like CarMax, you're going to have to be extremely proactive in going out and seeking that customer out. And so one of the things, and I don't want this to turn into a pitch special, but one of the things that attracted me when I started advising Auto Acquire was that that's exactly what they were doing. They were shooting out hundreds of offers for dealers, hundreds of offers. Boom, we're going to shoot them out. And we're going to wait until that customer tells us, hey, I want to do this inspection on my car. Hey, I want my certificate. Now that person in the store, what may have been 200 offers that went out, now they're following up on 30 or 40 of them of customers that said, hey, I'm interested. So you can do it, and you can do it with minimal staffing if you have the right technology.
And the right process, Frank. It's like everything else. If you're not doing the right thing consistently, you're dead, particularly with this, because this is really a disciplined process. It's kind of like special finance. You're weeding through a lot to get to a little, but the reward is strong.
And I'm glad, Larry, that you mentioned that, because at no point do I take the people in the process out of the equation of having technology. You have to have all three of these things to win in this space. And so for me, that process really comes in after after I've thrown the offers out, after I have the hand raiser, after I have the right word tracks to call that customer up and tell them I want them to buy their car, after I've done, if I have a remote inspection process and I can have them take pictures of the car, after all of that, and even in the remote inspection process, they're, again, process. It's not, hey, just go snap me some pictures. No, go snap me pictures in this particular order because this is the most effective way that I can look at as many cars as I possibly can. The next piece of that is what happens when that customer arrives at the store. There has to be a dedicated process for every one of those customers that shows up in your store. And there has to be that person that still knows the ins and outs of cars. You cannot put this many offers out there and expect to have someone who kind of knows cars go out and do the inspection for you.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be there that knows the ins and outs of these cars, that can crawl underneath them, drive them, inspect them, put them in four-wheel drive low, put them in four-wheel drive high, make sure, plug the OBD2 scanner in there, make sure that the car is what the customer said it was before you go down this path of stroking that customer a check.
Well, of course.
Frank,
It's the old, if you can't measure it, how are you going to control it? How are you going to improve it? How are you going to catch the mistakes?
That's right.
Frank, you had given a quote, and I was putting it on social media, where you're saying if you're not acquiring, you're dying. What are some of the things you've seen that have you just scratching your head? Why do these guys not see this?
Oh, I could go on and on for hours. It's funny. I was talking to Brian Kramer earlier about this, and we were thinking about doing a parody of all the things that we've heard from people over the years as to why they can't buy used cars. Most recently, I'll give you a couple. I'll give you one. I was talking to a client, and he's super frustrated. He's the used car manager. He's going out. He's doing everything he can to build a used car operation, and he got pushback from his GM and from his service manager. And the quote was, and I think I put it on my LinkedIn. The quote was, "What are you trying to do? Turn us into a used car store?"
I saw that. I saw that.
and in the conversation, I just had to stop and I go, "Wait, did I hear that right?"
Yeah, that
Frank,
didn't come out of your mouth.
Frank, that is not the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I had a controller once. I am not making this up. Short-lived. And we were going over the accounts receivable list. Now, we were in a very bad neighborhood, and it was very hard to scrape up down payment. And we always had an AR list. And this genius's answer was, well, if you sold less cars, you'd have less of an AR list. Okay, that's a great idea. Why don't you tell them that on the next place you're employed?
It's time to leave the auto industry.
It's time to go.
Frank, it turned out okay. I think he got a job with the Biden administration, so it's fine with the dollars.
He may be the next mayor of
no, don't go there.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Here's my thing, and this is where I'll kind of wrap it up with this. Like, there's so many out there that they're afraid of the change, and it's it's paralyzing some dealership groups. I talked to a dealership group late last year. Flew down, got on a plane, met with some people. They talked about, hey, you know what? Our organization, we got to go to selling 2,000 used cars a month. We got to get back to our glory days. And we built out this plan and told them everything that we needed to do. Well, we're 8 months later. Do you think they're any closer to selling 2,000 cars?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Frank,
they haven't sold 2,000 cars this year.
Frank, I always quote my hero Ben Franklin, because it's always been true. It always will be true. When you're finished changing, you're finished. Darwin's whole philosophy wasn't built on the strongest or the fastest. It was those most willing and capable to adapt will survive.
That's right.
And if that's not the case for the car business, I don't know what the heck is.
Yeah.
We've seen COVID. I'm not that old, but the people that were in it before me had to go through. You had big cars, you couldn't sell them because there was a gas crisis. There was cash for clunkers. There was dealers that lost their franchise just because the OEMs felt like taking them back.
Yeah.
If you can't adapt, if you can't pivot, you're in trouble because things are changing faster than we ever thought they would change.
Well, think about this right now. You're in a space right now with a number of people in the industry that have not seen 0% financing ever. They've never had to sell through it. They've never had to deal with it. And so who's out there teaching these folks that, hey, welcome to the true car business. You know, for people that were back there in the early 2000s and went through all those things you talked about, cash for clunkers, the crisis in 2008, you know, now you have, you know, COVID that's hit. You have all these things that have happened. And the one thing that was constant was change. You knew that change was coming. And if you didn't embrace it, you were, you know, ultimately you were going to die. And so when I say, hey, you know, if you're not buying, you're dying, your dealership's dying, it's true. Like if you're not out there and you're not acquiring inventory and not acquiring the best inventory and keeping that locomotive rolling, your dealership's dying. Because what's the alternative? I don't buy inventory. I hope to sell what I have. That inventory starts to age. I get upset that the inventory is aging because everything that I'm selling is a loss. And so I refuse to still go out and buy the inventory that is going to be the fresh inventory that wins for me.
Frank, those are the same people that don't understand the key is to turn the inventory. And you make more when you sell a car for $1,000 in 10 days than for $3,000 in 90 days because all you did was fool yourself because it didn't show up on the statement as the loss that it really is.
That's right.
Hey, Frank, how do people get a hold of you? Because I can't think of any dealership that doesn't need your help at this point.
Yeah, man. Hey, I always throw my phone number out there because everybody.
Hold on. You know what? The first time you ever caught me without a pen because I'm in a different room. I tell you what, Mike Larkin.
I got your back, Larry.
Okay, Gary, you're at your desk. Write down his number because Frank, I want to talk to you later anyway. I had a little talk with you and John and JR in New Orleans. Things are. I'm finally back on the road and I'm hitting everybody. I'm sure we can do some things together.
Yeah.
Throw it out there. Throw it out there, Frank.
No, you can reach me at 224-253-3790.
Give it to him again.
224-253-3790. Or you can shoot me an email at frank@autoacquireai.com. Or you can always find me on LinkedIn popping off about something.
All right.
Hey.
Frank, I'm going to reach out to you. It was the thorough pleasure. Gary and Mike and I knew it would be. You're a pleasure to talk to. You're an asset to this business. And, man, everybody should reach out to you. And I'm going to personally reach out to you. We'll talk and we'll do some business.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, my friend. And on behalf of Gary and Mike, we're so glad you joined us.
Frank.
Yes,
do
sir.
it one more time. Do that email again. Frank at
autoacquireai.com.
And Frank, thank you for spending Friday afternoon. We appreciate your time. I picked up a ton. I read one of your articles, and it really is. There's gold in the service drive, and I've been saying that, and it's like you now fix it because that's the best resource. They've done business, they're doing business, and it makes perfect sense. OEM made all of the dealers build big, beautiful drive-throughs, and boy, are they not utilizing them effectively. And I took something because I really want to start having dealers give a quote on a service contract when they are in the lane. Because what if
you're talking to the wrong guy. It's not Frank's problem. If you tell most general managers about working the service drive, they'll say to you, we have a service drive? How come I wasn't aware of that?
Yeah. Well, it's as we said, it's change.
The one thing that I'll say about that is you think about, like, you know, when you go back to the gold rush, right? And you had to go out and you had to, you know, pan for gold. It took you all day and you finally found that one nugget, right? And so the one thing I would say to that is if you're a dealer, then you need to be willing to invest the time to say, hey, I'm going to pan for gold all day long until I find that one nugget. And then I'm going to keep going. And that's how I'm going to get successful, is I'm going to just keep doing it over and over and over and over again.
There's gold in their own databases that they can mine and market and grow. Thank you for your time today, Frank. Appreciate everything.
Frank, it was a pleasure. Thank you
Have a
so
good
much.
weekend, everybody. Love you.
Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. We all good, Lair?